Blind ambition. Josh's story. Josh navigates across a wooden floor using his cane. Josh walking towards a wall to enter a lift.
My name is Josh Sane Black. I'm blind and I'm a data analyst for Deloitte. I play on the Blind England cricket team and I don't let disability define what I do with my life.
Photo of Josh as a premature baby in an incubator.
I was born 2 months premature. Because of that, I was put in an incubator and was given too much oxygen, which caused my retinas to detach.
Josh reading a braille book at school.
So I used to have functional sight in my left, but not in my right.
Josh as a little boy, partially sighted and playing with the hedgehog.
When I was 13, I woke up one day. I couldn't see anything. It was pitch black, so I assumed there'd been some kind of power cut.
Josh's face looks at the camera. Image turns black from a power cut.
And that's when I realised that something really wasn't right.
Photo of Josh as a young boy with his mum and using his braille display.
I learned braille from a very young age, much like anyone learning to read and write. I studied physics and astrophysics at university, subjects which are traditionally seen as being quite visual.
Josh walking across the graduation stage.
And that's actually where I learned to code.
Josh's face, concentrating, fingers typing on a keyboard with his braille display and screen reader on the table.
I started playing cricket at primary school. I was taken aside and learned how to play various different sports for visually impaired people.
Photo of Josh playing cricket as a young boy.
I attended a trial day in 2013 and joined the England squad.
Josh's England cap in a display case. Photo of Josh and visually impaired England cricket team in 2015.
I'm a senior consultant for Deloitte as part of our UK firm.
Deloitte HQ office building. Josh walking into the offices with his cane.
Being blind or having any kind of disability makes you a really great problem solver.
Josh's fingers typing on his keyboard with his braille display on the desk.
Andy was really key in my journey joining Deloitte.
Andy Whitten, Deloitte partner, shakes Josh's hand as they both communicate and smile in the Deloitte office.
Well, I have to say, when I first interviewed Josh back in 2020 and then we made him a job offer, it was the first time we'd had someone with Josh's disability joining the group.
Andy enthusiastically talking to Josh while both seated in the Deloitte office.
And I'm pleased to say that Josh knocked it out the park, as he often does in his cricket.
Josh standing, holding his cane, facing the window in an all-glass room.
If you're thinking about bringing in people with disabilities, then I'd say go for it. These are people who've got tremendous value to bring to your organisation, tremendous skills, and frankly, it doesn't take a lot of effort to integrate them into your organisation.
Josh, using his braille display and laptop, seated at a table.
So I use a screen reader, which is a piece of software that reads out text on the screen to me. I also use a braille display, which is a strip of refreshable braille, which plugs into my laptop and allows me to read what's on the screen in braille.
A wide shot of Josh using his braille display in a glass office environment. Bird's eye view drone shot of an empty London city with red buses driving by.
I am Daphne Mavruti-Hochuli and I'm the Managing Director of RNIB Enterprises. Today in the UK, there's about 2 million blind and partially sighted individuals. Every day in the UK, 250 individuals start their sight loss journey.
Josh's hands reach out. He finds his desk stool and carefully sits down.
We at RNIB are here to support blind and partially sighted people, and there's absolutely a spectrum in terms of sight loss. Sight loss is something that can affect any one of us at any point in our lives. Ultimately, sight loss will affect 1 in 5 of us here in the UK.
Josh using his cane to navigate up a street by himself.
All of the data suggests that by 2050, the number of individuals who are blind or visually impaired is going to double.
Sunset view, drone shot of London city skyline.
The fundamental element comes down to products, experiences, websites have not been built with accessibility in mind from the get-go, and we end up having a very clunky experience. When we design with accessibility in mind, we design a better experience, a better product for all of us, whether we are visually impaired or not.
Josh sitting at a table in an office, using his phone screen.
I think when finance and technology should be considered enablers and those systems don't work the way they should, it can be really demoralizing when it comes at the cost of your independence.
Josh swiping his phone with frustration.
So when most people use a banking app, they can look down and see the various different buttons like transfer money, pay credit card balance. Imagine trying to transfer money, but all of the buttons just have jumbled up alphanumeric characters. Or if the buttons haven't been labeled properly with alt text, it might just read out unlabeled button.
Close-up of a smartphone showing a payment screen with unlabeled button.
Imagine being asked to use facial recognition on a banking app, but you can't see where to hold the camera up because there's no audio guidance.
Josh, seated in a black suit in an office, using his phone to try and use Face ID.
Adding labels to buttons is a really good start. This is a really easy to implement change, which can greatly facilitate the navigation process for a blind person. Adding alt text to images can also really declutter the user interface. In order to make products more accessible, you need a diverse workforce who understands the difficulties that people face. But most importantly, I think you need an open mind. I may be blind, but I deserve the same independence and access to financial services as everyone else.
Financial services are for everyone. A film by Changemaker Studios for Project Nemo, featuring RNIBC differently.